Some new details have been dug up on Retro Studios, and it sure doesn't look like they're working on Donkey Kong. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. Gabe is here, and it was meant to be 19 over on Reset Era has found a LinkedIn profile for a Retro Studios writer, and they believe it to be their number 2 or number 3 writer. They updated their resume to say that they are working with a highly skilled team to bridge the gaps between game design needs and telling a compelling story in a meaningful world. Finding the best ways to construct the narrative we want the player to experience with the tools and restrictions available through text, dialogue, and non-traditional storytelling. Key team member for collaborative world building, story construction, and IP development. Point of contact for supplemental prose writing. Special focus on designer collaboration for player experience storytelling. And narrative specializations in world building, character development, design integration, non-linear storytelling, and prose fiction. Gabe, this does not sound like Donkey Kong.
This does not sound like Donkey Kong. Doesn't really sound like Metroid either. I think this should lead us to believe that Retro is in fact working on a new IP like previously rumored.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a new project, a new IP, and it sounds like it is going to follow in the footsteps of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey and be a game with quite a grandiose scope. They talk about world building, nonlinear storytelling, focusing on player experience storytelling, meaningful world. It sounds like this is going to be a pretty big and bold title from what we can gather based on a writer updating their resume.
So, Zach, how do you feel about the fact that this is going to be a new IP and not something that they're known for akin to Donkey Kong and Metroid? Because everybody kind of hoped that Retro was doing Metroid, right?
I believe so. I mean, we're still getting Metroid Prime 4, so regardless if Retro is involved, I think this kind of, to me, is the best of all worlds. We are getting Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on Nintendo Switch. Is it a new DK? No, but it sure is a fantastic one, and it'll be the definitive version. We are getting Metroid Prime 4. We now, it looks like, are also getting something new from Retro. So I will take a totally new project as well as those other two versus, a slimming of the titles. I do wonder when this releases. It's not like they're looking for a writer. This is just a writer updating their resume, so it sounds like it is well on its way. The big question is, do we see anything from this project this year, or more specifically at E3?
That was exactly what I was going to ask you. So if you had to put it into a percentage, the likelihood of us seeing whatever Retro's working on during this year's E3, where would you put that?
30%.
Oh, okay, so you're pretty low there. I think it's like a 50-50. I think there's a decent chance we see it just because we have some idea of what a lot of the other studios have been working on. And, we still have a lot of Nintendo games coming throughout the year that we know about. We have to figure that Smash is coming, things like that. But, yeah, Retro's been quiet for so long. 4 years since their last game. I think it's time.
I would love that. I do feel like perhaps this is off in the distance and Nintendo already has most of their year accounted for, but we will definitely have to wait and see it. It sure does sound, though, like it is going to be maybe not fully open world necessarily, but more in that vein and more in a broad scope, which seems to be the trend for Nintendo. Zelda, Mario, you could even categorize, Xenoblade as part of that group and say, like, hey, they're really going with broad scope titles, and Retro Studios project could be the next on that list. Let us know your take in the comments down below. What do you think Retro Studios is working on? How do you interpret this resume update for one of Retro's writers? And when do you think we'll see whatever it is they are cooking in that Retro Studios kitchen? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. In the meantime, check out our Discord, link in the description down below. Have a fantastic day. We love you. For myself and Gabe, Switchforce out.